that census pretest exercise is usually conducted before completion of the enumeration area demarcation exercise. The question to ask is, how critical is this pretest to the census preparatory process itself? In a moment, we will find out in our second conversation, which begins right now.
All right, we have two guests in the meantime with us in the studios. Dr. Inua Jalingo is the Census Manager at the National Population Commission. Dr. Jalingo, delighted to have you this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Also here with us is Ariola Evelyn Olanipekun, Director of Census Department of the National Population Commission. Ms. Olanipekun, pleasure to have you with us on the program this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerian.
Okay, we understand that we're expecting the chairman of the Population Commission himself. Of course, he will be with us once he does come into the studios. We will introduce him. But let's begin with Ms. Olanipekun, who is Director of Census Department. Again, what is this whole pretest all about before the completion of the enumeration area demarcation? What is it? What does it mean? What does it entail?
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. Pretests of censuses are often designed to pretest the preparation for the census, and they are out to test certain objectives. Normally, enumeration area demarcation is the first layer of activities towards a census. And when this is being conducted, it's to create enumeration areas that will be used as assignment areas for our enumerators during census. So while that is going on, we also organize the pretest to test the quality of the enumeration areas created and the usefulness for the census. And pretest is designed also to test the questionnaire content, the clarity of questions, and again, to also test the workload that we will be assigning to our field enumerators. Also, pretest enable us to test the adequacy of our publicity, because census is a huge lot of activity, and that takes place almost within a very short time, within which we may not have more time to make mistakes. So it is through tests and tests that we're able to bring out lessons that can help us improve our planning and make our preparation adequate.
Census is conducting, national census is not new. It's something, that has been in existence for a long time. So is it at every census period that you do you say it's a pretest census? Is it every time you conduct this, or what really is the wisdom in this pretest?
Okay, pretests are part of every census exercises, because it's a part of preparatory activity to ensure that all plans are in place. So for any project at all, and a huge one like census, pretest is a major aspect of it. So it comes with every censuses. For instance, in 1991 census, we had up to 3 pretests. We have a first pretest, second pretest, and even a trial census. Trial census is also a dress rehearsal of census. Then in the 2006 census, we had 2 pretests and a trial census. And for the next census, we already conducted the first pretest in June this year. And this is the second pretest, which also has its own set out objectives to help us also measure our preparedness for the census. And after this, again, we'll be moving into a pilot census before we attempt the main census.
Wow.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Olanipekun, there for your explanation. Dr. Inua Jalingo, I mean, this looks like a lot of shadow boxing before you get to throw the killer punch, as it were. So what does it entail in terms of pre-test exercise, and who is involved?
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians. The enumerators are involved. All the functionaries we are going to use for the census are involved. First of all, we have the facilitators. We had a training of facilitators. Now they will step down this training to enumerators, which has just completed all over the country yesterday.
Who is a facilitator?
Facilitator is a trainer. Is a person that is supposed to train the enumerators during the census period. So we had that level of training of trainers in Abuja here. Then we are stepping it down to the training of enumerators and supervisors at the state level. That was just ended yesterday. And then we have the supervisors. All these people are going to be the field functionaries for the census exercise. They are going to be deployed to the field. The enumerators will canvass from house to house on the census questions, while the supervisors are the ones that will oversee them and quality check the questions and all these things. So all these component staff are very important, and so we have to check their movement, because they are not working only in the state capital. They are going to work in all the local government areas, in all the localities selected for the pretest exercise across the country. So basically, apart from the training aspect, apart from this, we're also going to see their deployment. We're also going to look at the working of the equipment that we are going to deploy to the field. We are going to do a digital census, so we're all testing those digital equipments. We're deploying them. We are looking at the time that they will use for interview, the battery life, and all these things. We need to test all these things so that during the census you don't have a shocker, you don't have something new, and you have to ensure that all your activities that you have planned for are in the right perspective and are working well according to plans. And if there is anything that you are going to learn, definitely you are going to learn some lessons. So the preachers will help us to adjust and also see what are we doing that is right, what do we need to do that we need to adjust to make it right, because you cannot afford to miss anything in the census. Any minute in the census process is important. So you have to check all these things to ensure that they are working according to your plans. So if there is any adjustment that you need to do, the pretest is only the platform, and the trial census are only the platform to help you to do this adjustment to get your optimal
What is
best.
the level of citizen involvement at this pre-testing stage?
Yeah, we have commenced mobilization of the citizens for participation. First, starting with the chief executives of the states. The chairman has written to all the chief executives of the states, telling them that the National Population Commission is conducting this pretest exercise in their state. We have also telling them that these are the areas, the local government areas where this activity is taking place, telling them that these are the localities where it's going to take place. Yesterday, again, the chairman engaged the media, both print and electronic, in the print conference to educate the populace, because the people are the principal actors, because they are the ones that we are going to canvass these questions that we are going to do from them. So we need they are very important. They are the most important, the respondents are the most important people as far as our plan and operations are concerned.
Okay, maybe, Claire, we'll get Olani Pekun to also respond to this aspect. When I asked the level of citizen involvement, I just wanted to find out, I mean, what would be the interface between the enumerators or whoever the officials are from the NPC and the citizens? You just get into a household. Is it the head of the household you're looking for? Is it all persons who will be enumerated? That's why I asked, what is the level of citizen involvement at this pretest stage?
Okay. For the citizens, we have always counted on their support, and as much as possible, they have tried their best. And for this pretest, also, we'll be interfacing with each household, because our enumerators have been trained. They'll be going out today to start the house listing exercise. And when we conduct the house listing exercise, we visit each building in the EA, and then in each building, we request to know the number of households that are there. And when we get that, we meet each household to know the name of the head of the household. All these are questions. This is a question we ask individual household. So we take record of the names of the head of household to document them in preparation to enumerating the household. There is this first leg whereby we do the listing of all buildings and all household. So after that is completed, then we move on to the enumeration, where we still come back to the citizens again in their various households to ask them questions on demography, which will include their names, record their sex, their occupation, age, and place of birth, origin, occupation, and educational attainment, with some other questions we shall be asking individual members of the household. As much as possible, census is de facto, and we're also trying this in the pretest. Therefore, after we have listed every household, when we are back for the enumeration, every individual present in the household, as at the time of our visit, will be interviewed. Whosoever is not around cannot be interviewed, and that is the same way we do it during the main census. So as much as possible, we are not covering the entire nation now, and we have a number of samples in just a few EAs, about 444 EAs scattered around the state. Therefore, it is only people in those enumeration areas now that we see us come into their houses. So we just enjoy the rest that we are only out for a pretest. It is not a census yet, but for those that are in our sampled areas, they should please cooperate with us, because we shall be asking a number of questions to which we expect their responses. Thank you.
What informed the choice of those areas for this pretest?
Okay, it's a scientific procedure. Since it's only a test, we only want to, from the list of the total that we have, let us just systematically sample a few that our fund can carry, and that we meet the scientific requirement of taking a sample for the study. So it's purely a scientific exercise, and not for preference or likeness for any area, but it's a purely scientific approach.
Okay, the Chairman, National Population Commission, NPC, just walked into the studio, Honorable Nasiru Isa Kwara. Thank you very much for joining us for this conversation. So we wanted to know, the area that this pretest would cover. So maybe you're in a position to tell us why these areas, were probably chosen.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians. I am pleased to be here and to enlighten us more about the processes that we're undertaking to make sure we conduct for Nigeria a very sound, acceptable census. The areas are picked randomly, no particular preference. We picked randomly. The first pretest that was conducted, we have a particular number in mind. That's, the first test was 222 enumeration areas. Now we're getting closer to census. We expand the scope. We're now picking 444 enumeration areas. When we do the trial census in a short while, it will be a bigger sample. By the time we finish that, then we'll do the actual census. So there's no any specific reason why we picked. It's just a random selection. Yes.
Before you joined this conversation, I had used the boxing analogy.
Yes.
I said the pretest is more like shadow boxing. So when is the main event? That is to say, when are you projecting that we would have a national population census exercise? The last one being in 2006.
Yes. Well, going by our timeline, we hope to conduct census by May 2022, by the grace of God.
Do you have it in the next year's budget?
Yes.
Have you defended your budget before the National Assembly?
Yes, we have defended our budget.
Okay. Now, let's find out. I mean, from the men and women you are going to send out onto the field, there will be some concerns. But we understand that what you have afoot is a digital census. What does that mean?
Digital in the sense that we are not carrying paper and pen to be asking questions or reading from paper. It's purely electronic. We are going with a handheld device. From the device, we ask questions and they respond. We feed it into the device and the data we're able to collect, we upload into our server for further analysis.
What is this handheld device? I'm asking this question, Claire.
Is it a BVAS?
Is it beavers? Is it like a card reader? Is it so? I mean, because it's important to clarify this, so that because I'm sure you've been around in the country, and you've apprehended the controversy generated first by the smart card reader, and all the glitches that they have with smart card reader, now upgraded to beavers. And you also saw some of the snacks that they had in the Anambra election the other day. Yeah. So what is, you say device, what is this device and where is the device coming from? Are you going to have enough of it? Is it locally produced? Is it locally configured or is it coming from outside the country?
No, it's not locally produced. It is a Samsung product. It's just like any Android device. Even the phone can be used, but this one has been designed to be a little bit bigger. So that you can, it's touch screen and you can feed in and get a response. It is to be imported. Because it's coming in large number, we're already talking of the procurement process, how we bring it into the country. So it is not something to be afraid of. It's something we are all used to fiddling with. So even the school children, students, they're already used to using the phone. So it's not any special device.
But the phones also come with their own network problems, and that's why I'm going to ask. What about connectivity issues? Yes.
Okay. We have conducted the enumeration area demarcation. One thing we have in our database for the EAD, we have all the networks plotted where they are and where they are. So we are going to narrow around that. The Commission is also thinking of using some hybrid SIM cards where we can get network in the event that there are no network. It can get network from more than 10 different sources, even from neighboring countries and all these things. They are hybrid. So we can also work online and offline. Yes. And when you get network, you can now send to the server and all these things. So all these things have been carefully thought of, have been practiced, severally, and that is why we are doing the pretest. And just as the chairman have said, these areas have been randomly selected. So all these possibilities you are likely going to meet in a census are going to also be experienced here. And so we'll try to experience all the situations, and including the network and the transmitting of the data. All these things are going to be stimulated in the pretest.
I like the fact that the areas have been randomly selected, but this is not a theoretical, practice. This is a practical, exercise. And I would have thought personally, and this is going to Mrs. Olanikpekun, I would have thought that in choosing the areas for this pretest, accessibility would have been a driving factor.
Okay. Actually, we still stand by the fact that randomly selecting these areas is our best option, because in the process we have a variety of scenarios in the field. So Nigeria is has a wide land area and cut across different terrains. And in the process of randomly sampling the areas to be visited, it has cut across all these areas, both difficult areas and the less difficulty, the ones with less difficulty. Then taking it across the state also make us to have a feel of what the situation is in every state. So we don't really want to restrict it to accessible areas alone, or areas that are close by. We really want to have a feel of what it is, because census is supposed to cover every nook and cranny, every inch of the land area of Nigeria. Wherever people live, we must reach there. So regardless of the difficulty of getting there, we have moved up to the mountains before to go and enumerate people.
Which
And
are some of the areas that you have randomly chosen? Are we in a position to know some of those areas?
Okay, we have actually, I mean, we have three enumeration areas in every local government, I mean, in each local, 4 local government area in each state. That is, every state has 4 local government area where we're going to visit, and each of the 4 local government areas we shall be visiting 3 EAs that has been randomly taken from the whole lot of EAs demarcated in that LGA.
And the Federal Capital Territory has
Inclusive.
six.
FCT also has 4 council areas, and each of the council areas we shall be visiting 3 enumeration areas.
All right, Mr. Chairman, it looks like you're itching
Yes,
to.
I just wanted to add that in the selection of the local government areas, it cuts across all the senatorial districts in every state. Yes.
Well, I still want to return to the digital census that you say is afoot. Is it that you're going to do this electronically fully without paper backup? That's one question. Second question is, will the entire value chain be hacker-proof? Have you attempted that, getting ethical hackers to try to rattle your system and see how fortified it might be against intrusion?
Yes, it's going to be 100% electronic, no paper. Secondly, the issue of hacking. We have worked with our experts, and this is seriously addressed. We don't expect that we're going to have hacking into our system. Yes.
Okay.
I think it's Mrs. Olanipe that talked about the issue of questionnaire, and I'm wondering what kind of questionnaire and what kind of questions will be included in this questionnaire. Is it a closed questionnaire, or is it a questionnaire that allows you to make your input, and what are the kind of questions?
No, it is a closed questionnaire. We select questions that will not bring us problem in this country. Anything that brings about division in the country, we don't include it. We don't want to talk about issue of religion. We don't talk. We talk strictly about statistics that we need for proper planning and development, and issues that brings about controversies. We don't do that. Issue
like,
about gender,
like numbers of inhabitants, because she said they will ask you who is the head of the household,
yes.
and then you're going to ask the number of people living in the household, and you know what counting, that in some cultures it's forbidden to count the number of your household.
Well, those cultural barriers we try to overcome because we need this information. It's very, very important for us to do that. The culture of like Puda, we'll try and get a lady accompanying a young man as enumerators that will go into the household, where a lady has to. A lady will be asked, like the wife or the daughters, is the lady that will be asking the question, not the young man. So those cultural.
And the young man will enter
he may enter and stay with the head of the household, but the lady will be the one asking
the question.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. What was the outcome of the pretest exercise you conducted 6 months ago, you said, Dr. Jalingo?
Yeah, we have, basically that pretest was conducted to check our enumeration area demarcation, which we did up to phase 17. And we have checked them, and all the parameters we have set to check, we realized that we are over 90% accurate. So that gives us a lot of sense of encouragement. Similar parameters are set for this second pretest. We are moving more from the maps now to the cohesions, to the logistics, to even the advocacy, and to ensure that the people are aware of what we are doing. If you realize that the advocacy we are doing now, the media engagement, are more for this pretest, because this time around we want to check all these things. Have the people received our message? Do they know the type of questions that are going to be answered and all this and all that? So at the end of the day, we have our parameters to gauge the pretest and see whether it has met, whether there are areas that we need to take measures to amend, and so that we can move forward towards the trial census and the census in the right manner, and using the best practice for data collection.
What kind of questions, one more time, should citizens expect at this pretesting stage? Yes, the chairman says, well, the questions that normally would inflame passions or stoke divisions will be avoided. But what kind of questions would you expect? Because if you were to get, let me give you an example. Maybe you're trying to also ascertain household income or income levels. Are you don't walk, your enumerators walk into a household and you're asking the man probably will probably spend some time to make a calculation of what he earns and what his wife earns, and how much they spend, and so on and so forth. So what kind of questions should people expect?
Thank you very much. First and foremost is the socio-demographic questions. These are very important. What is the sex, the age, the schooling status, and we also have some disability questions related to ability to perform certain activities.
Yes.
We don't call them disability because that is derogatory. And in addition to that, we also have housing characteristics. Is that clear? This is a population and housing census. We want to know the type of houses Nigerians live. Do they have access to electricity? Do they have access to water supply? What is the sanitation condition in the households? And again, we have, do they have television in their houses? Do they have a telephone? Do they have all these things? So we have moved from asking questions directly in economic, because they're almost very difficult to get answers to. So we do what we call wealth quantiles. We look at your household facility, your level of sanitation and all this and all that. By that, we have some modeling analysis that we can deploy to assess what is the economic status of the household. So these are the proximate determinants that will determine what are the economic status. Because when you ask people what they earn and all this, it's always very difficult. But we're also going to ask labor force questions. Are they working in the last 12 months? Have they engaged in any kind of work? What type of work they are going to ask? We're all going to ask these questions. But getting directly earnings, even for us, is very difficult to do. So the Commission has done several of these. Apart from the census, we have been conducting successful surveys, and over the 30 years or so. So, and we know all how to go about all these parameters, and we're going to deploy that for the exercise.
Mrs. Olanikpekun, I'm wondering the level of information that is available to, to Nigerians out there about this pretest, census pretest.
Okay. As much as possible, we have tried to improve on publicity by way of getting the population sensitized through advocacy. As mentioned earlier, the executive chairman has embarked on several advocacy visits to states, to traditional councils, just to sell our programs and intimate them of what we have in place. And particularly in preparation for this pretest, the Public Affairs Department has gone out to prepare jingles and handbills to educate the citizenry of what they are about to what's about to happen. So, and in each LGA that has been selected for this exercise, our officers at the state level, our state directors, the comptrollers, and staff have been enjoined to go and identify those areas that have been randomly selected and inform the traditional rulers or the leaders of the communities of the Commission's program, and telling them the date and what is involved, what exactly will be happening, and call for their cooperation. So, and as much as possible, all enumerators have handbills and posters which we expect them to put in the areas where they are going to work, and also distribute ahead of their visit to the household, so that their coming is not unknown. They already, the community is already aware of their coming ahead before they start interviewing them. So as much as possible, it can be better, but we have tried much to publicize the pretest, and we hope that we gain the maximum cooperation of all our respondents.
Right, Mrs. Alani-Kpeku, thank you. My final question is to the Chairman, Honorable Nasir Issa Kwara. What are you expecting? What kind of conduct are you expecting or soliciting from the people that will participate in this pre-test?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I would like to thank Nigerians. They've always supported us all through, right from when we were conducting the enumeration area demarcation. We received a great lot of support, and we don't expect any less. We continue to count on you to support the Commission to conduct this very important exercise that will lead to eventual conduct of a very credible and successful census. We are doing this for us, Nigeria as a country. We've never had it this good, and we want, the way we started, we want to finish it on a very resounding, successful note. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman, National Population Commission. When is the pretest kicking off, and how long is it going to last?
It's kicking off today. Yesterday I had a press briefing where a lot of press men and ladies gathered. The commissioners are also doing the same press briefing today. So as soon as they're through the press briefing, the staff will go into the field straight to start today, and we're going to end on the 10th of December. No, December. It's just a one-week program. Yes.
Okay, on that note, we'd like to thank you, Honorable Nasir Issa Kwara, Chairman, National Population Commission. Thank you for being our guest on Good Morning Nigeria today.
Thank you, Councillor.
Mrs. Ariola Evelyn Olani-Kpeku, Director, Census Department, also of the Population Commission. We thank you for being around. Dr. Inoa Jalingo, Census Manager at the Population Commission. We also thank you for the clarification you provided.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so that's it for us on Good Morning Nigeria for today, and indeed for the week. We hope you enjoy your weekend, and then join us again on Monday, same time, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm Kingsley Osadolo.
All right, and Christmas is smiling. Don't forget next week, and always wear your face masks. Omicron COVID-19 is around the corner, and also join us in our campaign against rape and rapists. I am Claire Dilabu Abdurazak from me and the production crew to have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.